This is my rain hair, courtesy of December 2018. I hope all you chicks with your flannel and pumpkin spice, whatever the hell, are happy, because this is fall. It looks like a depression commercial outside. It's been this way since October, and it has held up progress on the van, but it's given me this hair. Okay, I've had the van for almost a little over a month, and I've got exactly, as of today, 1 month to finish the damn thing if I want to stick to my deadline of January 1st. So I have got to get going because this is not moving fast enough. For as much bitching as I did this week, I did get a lot done, so we've got a lot to catch up on. Let's start with the last video because I was in a shit mood in the last video. I am so cold and so over this right now. Freezing cold, it's dark, long week. There was nothing fun about working on the van this week. And the last thing I wanted to be doing was stopping work when it was called out to shoot a YouTube video. I shot that video because I thought it was important. Let's be honest, social media, the internet, TV, it's all Photoshop for real life. And I think we've all watched plenty of videos and seen a lot of shows that make renovating a house or a van or a camper or whatever look like a lot of fun. And it's not all rainbows and shelter dogs and chai tea. When I renovated my house, the Babe Cave, which inspired the Babe Bus, and I put a video to the inside tour of that right before I sold it, and I hope you watch it because I just think she's the prettiest house that was ever made. Anyway, there were entire months that were just miserable. I almost lost friendships over that house. It's a ton of work. So I thought it was important this week when I was miserable to stop what I was doing and check in to just let you know that if you're gonna go through all this, there's gonna be times that just suck. It's just part of the deal. The best stuff in life comes to the people who put up with the most bullshit. Hang in there, toughen up. Quick check-in with the refrigerator. That was 2 videos ago. So the truck fridge has been inside and I plugged it in just to make sure that she was cooling and working and all that. And I noticed that the temperature ranged an awful lot. Like I set it on 37 and it would go up to 41 and it would go down to 34 and then 36. And I was like, oh shit, I bought a lemon. I sent Truck Fridge an email, which is, I like that it's an American company. I don't know that all the parts are American. So save that in the comment section. But I got a really quick response and she said, well, your regular refrigerator, it ranges in temperature just the same way. You just don't stand there and watch it. And I was like, touche, Truck Fridge lady, touche. It has kept my Coke Zeros icy cold, and God knows that for the rest of the week I have needed it because a spoonful of Coke Zero helps the Xanax go down. Isn't that right, Mary Poppins? Now, I know that practically everybody gets a Max Air fan and they either put one fan in the back and one fan in the front and they use it to circulate air and they say that that does enough temperature control. But I live in the South, and if the temperature in the summer doesn't kill you, the humidity will. So initially I had a Max Air fan too. They're only like $200. The install isn't complicated, but I just thought long term, right? So if you're just doing this on the weekend, that may be fine. But when I thought about, well, what if I'm somewhere that I really like, but it's hot out? Am I really gonna move my location because the humidity or the temperature isn't that great? That's stupid. In the summer here, you will melt. I mean, from April until October, you have permanent boob sweat. Like that line right under here, it's just always nasty. Everyone is swamp ass. It's humid. It's a part of life.
Oh, she's big. I didn't think it would be that big. Shut up. Just shut up.
It is really important to me that I get the most energy efficient of everything I can buy because I can't physically lift a 100-pound plus generator. I really need systems that will work on a running power of about 2,000 watts, and pretty much 0 air conditioning units will run on 2,000 watts. I know that there are people that post videos of it happening, but you are really pushing that generator hard, and then there's no power left over to run anything else, like to cook or plug in your computer or what have you. The only model I found was a Coleman Mach 3 Power Saver. Not the Coleman Mach 3 Plus, the Coleman Mach 3 Power Saver. It is not the cheapest one out there, but it can run on a small inverter generator, and that was priceless to me, because otherwise I was gonna have to get a cargo swing on the back to hold the big generator, or I was gonna get a winch so I could lift it up and down. I even looked at getting a deer lift just to try to figure out how the hell I was gonna pick up a generator that heavy. So now I don't have to. I spent a couple $100 on the front end with this model, but it's gonna save me money on the generator end.
This is just like Christmas for single people, where you buy yourself a bunch of stuff and tell yourself you shouldn't have.
I cannot physically
Did you
lift
give yourself-
the air conditioning unit, which is about 100 pounds, up on top of the babe bus, so I called in a friend. My friend Sailor Van, yes, his name is Sailor, I know, beach community Sailor, it's a little bit extra, but it works. Nicest guy in the world. He owns a commercial services company. The dude knows how to cut into metal, so I handed that responsibility over to him, gladly. I did about pee my pants when I saw the blade going through the roof of my brand new van. I am not going to go into the nuts and bolts of how we installed each thing, because there is way too much liability in trying to explain how to put in an AC on top of a vehicle. So I'm just gonna say, whatever model you get, read the directions.
I put the thing in the thing, and then I'm putting this thing in the other thing.
Look at that, a man reading directions.
This is unprecedented right now. Like, I don't even know, like,
Oh yeah, you just do it like that.
I just follow the pictures, you see?
Yep.
Initially, because of how stubborn I am, I was hell-bent that I was gonna make the cabinets myself. And I watched about, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds of a time-lapse video on how to make custom cabinets and was like, oh shit, no. Nope, not doing that. Cabinet making is an art. You have to have all kinds of tools, and I'm trying to get rid of tools. So there was just no way in holy hell that I was gonna make custom cabinets myself. The next option was to make the sizable investment to get custom cabinets made for me. Well, that sounds great, because they'll be made based on the shape of the van, and God knows that baby got curves. So I called a couple friends who are into woodworking or who own furniture making businesses, and it was a lot of money, but you know, good investment, and I wouldn't have to do it. Unfortunately, if you remember, a couple months ago, Hurricane Florence basically pummeled Wilmington and the surrounding communities here. The eye of the storm is not going to come here, so we're not going to get a break. That's me playing news lady, which is my full-time job. I work in TV news. Anyway, all those trees are going to get yanked back the other direction. Because of Florence, practically every contractor, every carpenter, everybody who works on buildings is so backed up that they just don't have the availability to do it. Plus, you know, when I thought about it, really, this is my first run out in a cargo van. And I have a feeling that I'm gonna get in this thing and I'm gonna decide, actually, I want this over here, and I want this here, and I want that up there. So it doesn't make a lot of sense on the front end, on the first run, to spend a ton of money for custom cabinets when I'm pretty sure that after I use it, I'm gonna want to change the whole damn thing anyway. So I'll save that for later. Now, I have seen a couple van builders post videos of buying cheap, very cheap IKEA cabinets, building them together, shoving them in the van. Now, IKEA gets a bad rap for being cheap, because it is cheap. Well, IKEA cabinets are made with MDF, which is how they keep the cost down. And MDF is basically scrap wood, sawdust, and adhesive. It's compressed very, very tightly, and it makes easy to cut smooth wood, but it's also so dense that it is so heavy. So I didn't really believe it until I went to Lowe's and I picked up a piece of plywood, and then I walked over and picked up a piece of MDF and was like, holy shit, this is heavy. The Then I had really zero options, but luckily when I was at Lowe's trying to buy something else, I walked past the stock cabinets and saw they were 25% off. Now, don't get me wrong. I got these cheap and they're cheap too. I mean, they are made of like a plywood or particle board on the back. They're held together with some plastic fasteners. And because of the curves of the van and how much stress you had to put on them to kind of get everything in there right, there was some areas that separated, whatever. I mean, reality is, like I said, I'm probably gonna want to rip all this out and change it anyway. So the price was right. They're fine. I patched up some of the separations. Good to go, saved a ton of money. I'm totally happy with them. For the platform bed, I was going to just buy more of those stock cabinets from Lowe's and then build a platform bed around those, because I've seen a lot of vans that have drawers underneath the platform bed, and I thought, well, that's brilliant, because then you can put your clothes in there. The cabinets were already made. I just shove them in there, build a base over it, done. But when I was looking at the kitchen cabinets, there's so much lost space just to accommodate the hardware in them that, you know, I just thought, well, I'm already losing space on that end, and then you lose so much space under the platform bed because of the wheel wells, right? You can't really put cabinets around those. You can't put drawers around those. So I tried to think of like, how can I maximize the space underneath the platform bed? And that's when I came up with the crawl-in closet. I built a crawl through on one side and a crawl through on the other, and now underneath the bed I have this full open space. So I can actually put suspension rods and hang clothes down there. I can put storage boxes in there. The lace shitter will fit under there. I've just got a lot of room. And then I built boxes over the wheel wells so I can either screw in like metal baskets and put socks in there, or I just have a lot more space to deal with. So I'm pretty set with storage. Just make sure when you're building your platform bed that you take into account the thickness of your mattress and then your pillows and blankets and all that. So you've got at least enough room to sit up straight and not clunk your head on the ceiling. At this point, the second it stops raining and I can get out there again, I'm gonna start putting in all the finishing screws to get everything nailed down and attached. And then I'm gonna build the countertop, which if you watch the Babe Cave video, you will see a little hint as to what the countertop is going to be, and I'll only give you one clue, and that is Abraham Lincoln. I'm getting really close to the time where I can hand the whole thing over to the electrician. I know a lot of people want to see that video. The electrician has refused to be on camera, so I'm going to have to explain everything I did after the fact. But again, I think I've said this in like 3 videos, I am not running wiring behind the plywood. It's going through the cabinets. And that's because if anything ever goes wrong with the wiring, I will not be able to access it if it's behind the plywood or behind the insulation. I realize that everyone puts it back there, but that makes no sense because once it's there, you'd basically have to deconstruct the van to get to your electric and to your plumbing. So no chance in hell. Mine's going through the back of the cabinets. There's plenty of room there. And if heaven forbid I see a piece of conduit, I think I'm gonna be fine. Whew, so we covered a lot of territory in this video. But a lot of work got done this week and I'm pretty tired, so I'm gonna go shower because I smell like a sock and I've got a ton of work to do on this baby tomorrow. But thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Everything that I use and kind of recaps of all this is at babecavebuilds.com, and I will see you there or in the next video.